So I welcome you to the first module entitled Networking today. These are the topics that we are to cover in this module. Um, we'll on the first part, we'll look into how computer network affect our daily lives. We'll look into some terms that we need to be familiar um, with in relation to host and network devices. We look into network representation and identify characteristics of common types of network. We'll differentiate what a LAN, local area network, and a wide net area network is. We'll be able to identify um, basic requirements, four basic requirements for us to have a reliable network. We look into different network trends nowadays, uh, and then have an overview on network security and have a sort of discussion to uh, the CCNA certification exam. So let's start. I suppose everyone would agree that, especially at this point in our lives, um, computer network, especially internet, is considered as an essential component, just like air, water, food, and shelter. Um, that through the internet, this is the only way for us to connect. Because you know what? Because of the COVID pandemic, we need to stay at home, and the only way for us to connect to our relatives, friends, and like this in this case, we need to keep on moving to our education. The only way for us to have this education setup is through online, and that is through the help of the internet infrastructure. There are even study that says that internet is one of the greatest inventions of all time. You know, and I think you would agree to that. Also, the good thing with internet is we now have globalization. That before, a community is only local, but now we have a global community. You can interact, transact globally. One country that benefits through this globalization is the Philippines. Take note that we are one of the uh, uh, we are one of the country that has the most number of BPOs, business process outsourcing. And when you graduate, most of you will fall into these companies. And you know what? Especially now at this point in our time where we have this pandemic, BPOs, IT services provided by these BPO companies are increasing because of the demand. No, that most businesses are moving through online. Um, okay, so we'll have more of discussions on this when we move into our live sessions. Um, we do experience the benefits of networking in the way we learn. We now like this one, we now are experiencing this online education, a full online setup. There are different as we go along. There will be lots of tools that you will be exposed to in relation to online education to make it effective. We'll have sharing of um, experiences on these tools during our live session. Aside from the way we learn, also with computer network, especially internet, um, it uh, it 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 makes our communications easier through social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, uh, through chat, through email, okay, so on and so forth. Work from home, okay. Now, most companies are migrating into this kind of an environment that they work at home. Actually, even before COVID, there are already companies that embraces this setup, work from home. And now it is increasing. We'll explore on this again during our live session. I think And then the last, I think most of you are engaged into Mobile Legends or Warcraft and other online games. So these are, again, some of the benefits we encounter because of the evolution of the computer network. Um, there are different network components. No, we have to again be familiar with terms. Like first term is the host. Host roles. Every computer on a network usually has an end device. Okay, that's the term end device. When we say end device, these are the device we want to connect to our network. Examples of end devices are servers, PC, phones, printer, scanner, webcam. Okay? Uh, what's one reason why we want to connect to the, say, internet? Because we want to avail the different services, right? That's what we want. That's what the internet is offering to their users. Some of these services includes email, web servers, file servers. Next in the agenda is there's this what we call as a peer-to-peer network environment. Imagine you have these two computers and both of them has Windows 7 installed. You know what? In this Windows 7, it is not designed to act as a server. It is designed to act um, a simple operating system, but it has sharing of resources, and with that, it can act as a server. The way we define a peer-to-peer network is a network where a host device, can both act as a client and as a server. Example, like this computer over here, if you share its printing resources, then it is acting as a printer server. Okay? So, good thing with peer-to-peer, it's much cheap. Um, it's it's easy to set up, but the challenge is it is not that scalable, not that secured as compared to a client server type of a network environment where you have a dedicated server. So how can a computer become a server with a client server environment? That computer should have a server operating system. Okay, say Windows Server 2008 or say Linux. Now we have these different components of a network, and we have three: devices, media, and services. When we say devices, we mentioned the other type of the device a while ago, and that is the end device. Again, end devices are our computer, server, phones, etc. There's another device we call as a network device. These are our routers, switch, firewall. When we say media, we refer to the physical link. These are our cables or wireless, and the services are the what we access, email, file server, and this runs. This is possible because our operating system supports what we call as application layer protocols. These application layer protocols, this term, we are to discuss this in the next chapter. So again, end devices, these are, in the picture, are examples of our end devices. And then again, we have the network devices. So each of these network devices has specific role or function, and we are to cover this in as we go along. But as an overview, say a switch. We use a switch if we want to connect our computers locally. So let's say at home you have 5 computers. You want to connect all of them together, maybe because you want to play this LAN game, or you want to make it easy to share resources uh, from one PC to another. So you need to buy a switch to establish a local area network. If you want to connect to the internet, that is when a router comes into the picture. Okay, a router or a wireless router. There's this what we call as a multi-layer switch. It's a combination of a switch and a router. Just like a coffee, we have this 3-in-1. Okay, there's already a coffee, a creamer, and a sugar in it. So there is also a device we call as a multi-layer switch. It's already a router, and at the same time, it's also there's a switch inside of it. Firewall, the way we define a firewall are devices that restricts or permits packet. No, packet are our encapsulated data. We'll discuss packets in one of the chapters. And then the media, uh, in relation to computer networks, most commonly used media are twisted pair, coaxial, and then we have this fiber optic, and of course, we have the wireless. There's that one chapter wherein we are to dig into these different forms of media. And then the last part, we have these network representations, symbols. As you go along, you will be familiar with these symbols as we have activities where we are to explore a packet tracer simulation. And there are lots of symbols that you will be exposed to in this packet tracer simulation laboratory activity. And then topology diagram, um, we have two, physical topology and logical topology. In the first physical topology, this is where the physical location of the devices, intermediary network devices, and the end devices are being laid down together with the actual layout of the cables installation. While the logical topology usually defines data flow, that's the keyword. Again, actual layout is for the physical topology. Logical topology is data flow. So usually in the logical topology, it includes the port, the IP addressing schemes, so on and so forth. We will discuss in detail this physical and logical topology when we are on the part of the Ethernet. So far, this ends the first part of chapter 1. Um, I hope to see you on the next video. Keep safe, and together we learn as one. Thank you.